The Social Security Administration has confirmed a new deposit wave hitting bank accounts tomorrow, Wednesday, March 11th. And if you are not certain whether your name is in this group, what you are about to find out is that the answer depends on one number you have known your entire life. And getting it wrong, or assuming you are included when you are not, is the kind of mistake that puts a senior on fixed income in exactly the situation nobody can afford when rent is due, prescriptions are waiting, and the deposit is not there. Margaret is 71 years old, a retired elementary school teacher from Dayton, Ohio, 34 years in the classroom. And she told me that the first Wednesday of every month is the day her whole financial life either holds together or it does not. She tracks the SSA payment calendar on a notepad she keeps on her kitchen table. Last month, she wrote down the wrong date because she misread which group she was in. She waited 2 days for a deposit that had already arrived in a different account, one she had forgotten to update after switching banks 7 months earlier. She spent those 2 days rationing her medication, skipping the grocery run she had planned, and calling her daughter twice a day to ask whether the money had somehow gone somewhere she was not seeing. It had not gone anywhere. It was sitting in a closed account that the SSA was still sending her payment to every month because nobody had told them it was closed. She told me, "I have been getting this payment for 6 years, and I still did not know how to make sure it actually arrived. I should not have to feel this way every single month." Margaret, you are right, and by the time we finish here, you will know exactly which group gets paid tomorrow, who gets paid after that, and what the SSA confirmed about the one issue that is causing more deposit failures right now than anything else on the calendar. The March 11th payment belongs to a specific and clearly defined group, and the dividing line is not your age, not your benefit type, and not the amount you receive. It is the day of the month you were born. If your birthday falls on any day from the 1st through the 10th of your birth month, Wednesday, March 11th is your payment date. That is the complete rule for this group, and the Social Security Administration has confirmed it on the official 2026 payment calendar published at SSA.gov. It applies whether you receive retirement benefits, disability benefits, or survivor benefits, and whether your monthly amount is $800 or $3,000. The birthday is the only variable that determines which Wednesday you are in. The staggered Wednesday schedule that determines when each group receives their payment was adopted by the SSA in June 1997, specifically because paying all 71 million beneficiaries on a single day had become operationally unsustainable, and the birthday-based system has governed every payment since. If you were born on the 11th through the 20th of your birth month, your payment arrives Wednesday, March 18th, 1 week after tomorrow. If you were born on the 21st through the end of your birth months, your payment arrives Wednesday, March 25th. And there is a fourth group that operates on a completely separate schedule, one that most people in it do not fully understand, which is why it causes more confusion and more missed payments than any other part of the system. And if you have been receiving Social Security for a long time and you are not certain which schedule applies to you, the fastest way to find out is to log into SSA.gov. Go to your My Social Security account, and the payment history there will show you exactly when your deposits have historically arrived, which is the most reliable indicator of which group you are in. If you began receiving Social Security benefits before May 1st, 1997, your payment does not follow the Wednesday birthday schedule at all. Your payment arrives on the 3rd of every month, regardless of your birthday, and in March 2026, that date was Tuesday, March 3rd. The same March 3rd date applies to beneficiaries who live outside the United States, those who are enrolled in Medicare savings programs that have their premiums covered by their state, and those who receive both Social Security retirement or disability benefits and supplemental security income at the same time. If you are in any of these categories and you are watching for a March 11th deposit, it has already arrived 8 days ago. And if you did not see it, there is a specific reason why, and a specific set of steps to take right now. That is the part most people in this group never get told clearly, and it is what we are going to cover before this video ends. Because a beneficiary who has been watching for a deposit that already arrived 8 days ago and never appeared in their account is not dealing with a scheduling question anymore. They are dealing with a missing payment. And those two situations require completely different responses and completely different urgency. If you are in the pre-1997 group and your March 3rd payment did not arrive, do not wait for March 11th to pass before acting. Contact your bank today, and if the bank confirms no deposit was received, call the SSA at 1-800-772-1213 to report it and begin the trace. If you have not yet subscribed to U.S. Pension Insight, please do that right now. It is completely free. What comes next is the detail that is causing more payment failures in March 2026 than any scheduling confusion ever could, and it is something the SSA has confirmed is happening to a growing number of beneficiaries right now. The payment is leaving the SSA on schedule. That is not the problem. The problem, for a number of seniors receiving checks this week, is where the SSA is sending it. When the SSA transmits a payment, it goes to the bank account on file in their system. The exact routing and account number linked to the beneficiary's record at the moment the payment processes. And if that account number is outdated, closed, belongs to a bank the beneficiary switched away from, or contains even a single digit that does not match an active account, the payment goes there anyway. A changed account number, a merged bank, a credit union switch, a new account opened after a fraud incident. Any of these is enough to send an entire month's payment into a void the beneficiary does not know exists until Wednesday passes without a deposit. The receiving bank rejects it, typically within 1 to 3 business days, returns the funds to the SSA's general account, and the recovery process begins. The SSA then has to identify that the payment was returned, match it back to the correct beneficiary's record, and reissue it to a corrected account. And with the staffing reductions the SSA has been operating under since early 2025, each of those steps is taking considerably longer than it historically has. U.S. News has confirmed that only 43% of SSA benefit appointments are completed within 28 days under current staffing levels, which means a beneficiary who needs to resolve a payment issue through a local office may be waiting close to a month before anyone can help them. For someone managing a fixed monthly income with no cushion, a month is not an inconvenience. A month is rent unpaid, prescriptions unfilled, and a kitchen where the refrigerator is going empty while someone waits on hold. The fix is not complicated, but it has to happen before the payment processes, not after. Log in to your My Social Security account at SSA.gov and verify that the bank account listed under direct deposit is the account that is open, active, and accessible right now. Not the account you used 2 years ago. Not the account you switched from last spring. The exact account that will show a deposit tomorrow morning if everything is correct. If the information is wrong, update it immediately. If you do not have an online account at SSA.gov, call the SSA directly at 1-800-772-1213, open Monday through Friday from 8 in the morning to 7 in the evening, and a representative can verify and update your direct deposit information over the phone. If your payment does not arrive on March 11th, and you believe your banking information is current, contact your bank first, because some institutions hold payment files for up to 24 hours before posting them to individual accounts. And what looks like a missing deposit on Wednesday morning may simply be a bank posting delay that resolves by end of business day. If 3 full business days pass and the deposit has still not appeared, that is when you call the SSA at 1-800-772-1213. Report the missing payments, and the agency will review the case and trace where the payment went. The SSA will ask you to confirm your banking information during that call, and if they identify that the payment was sent to an incorrect or closed account, they will initiate a replacement. But under current processing timelines, that replacement can take additional weeks to arrive. This is why verifying the direct deposit information before the payment date, not after a missed deposit, is the only step that costs nothing and prevents everything. The SSA phone line is open Monday through Friday from 8 in the morning to 7 in the evening, and calling early in the week before Wednesday's payment processes through the banking system entirely gives you the best chance of reaching a representative before a potential issue becomes a confirmed delay. One more item that is affecting a portion of beneficiaries receiving payments this week and that the SSA has not prominently communicated. The March payment that hits bank accounts tomorrow covers the February 2026 benefit month because Social Security pays 1 month in arrears, and it includes the 2.8% cost of living adjustment that took effect in January 2026, adding an average of $56 per month to retirement benefits and bringing the average monthly check to $2,071. If your check increased in January when the COLA first applied, the same adjusted amount is what you should see landing this week. If the amount arriving tomorrow is lower than what landed in February, it is worth examining why before assuming it is correct. Because a change in the Medicare Part B premium, which sits at $202.90 per month in 2026, can reduce the net deposit even when the gross benefit increased, and a beneficiary who does not track both numbers separately can miss a deduction they did not authorize. The Medicare Part B premium increased by $17.90 this year, from $185 in 2025 to $202.90 in 2026. And for beneficiaries who did not follow that change closely, the net deposit in January may have felt smaller than expected, even though the gross benefit increased. Because the larger deduction was applied at the same time, the COLA raised the base, partially offsetting what the COLA added. Your benefit verification letter at SSA.gov shows both the gross benefit and every deduction currently on record, and it takes less than 5 minutes to pull. If the net amount landing in your account tomorrow does not match what that letter shows, the discrepancy is worth a phone call to the SSA at 1-800-772-1213 before you assume the number is correct, because an unauthorized deduction that goes unquestioned in March compounds into every payment that follows for the rest of the year. Before closing that SSA.gov account, take 1 additional minute to verify that your mailing address on file is current, because an outdated address is one of the most common triggers for account review flags that can affect payment timing without any warning. And with SSA offices operating at reduced staffing since early 2025, a flag that would previously have been cleared in days can now sit unreviewed for considerably longer. This is exactly the kind of silent administrative problem that Margaret had no idea was happening for 7 months, while she kept writing the wrong date on her notepad and wondering why the money felt smaller every spring. And the reason she had no idea is that the SSA does not send a notification when a payment is returned or when a record flag is raised. The beneficiary finds out when the deposit does not arrive, and by that point, the recovery clock has already started running. Tomorrow's deposit is confirmed and on schedule for every beneficiary born between the 1st and the 10th, whose record is clean, whose banking information is current, and whose account is active and ready to receive it. The SSA's responsibility ends the moment it transmits the payment. What happens after that depends entirely on what is in their system right now, not what was accurate when you first enrolled, not what you updated 2 years ago, and not what you assumed was still on file. The beneficiaries who have payment problems in March 2026 are not the ones who checked. They are the ones who assumed. Margaret checked her account at SSA.gov the afternoon she called me from her kitchen, the same afternoon she realized her payment had been going to a closed account for 7 months. She updated her direct deposit information that day. Her next payment arrived on schedule, in the right account, and she told me she slept through Wednesday morning for the first time in months. That is exactly why this channel exists. Stay subscribed. I will see you in the next update.